You are listening and or watching Pwnecast. This is episode 39. We are in patch 6.0.3. I am your Warlock host, Belle. This week I wanted to, before we get started, I wanted to make a shout out to Elida. For those of you that don't know, Elida's priest has been on Proudmoore since I don't even know how long. I did get an in-game mail today on Bella's saying from Elida. He has switched from Horde over to Alliance, and he has moved from Proudmoore over to Argent Dawn to join the Riders of Rohan. And in this in-game mail, he sent 1,000 gold for the guild bank, a list of professions that he can attribute for guildies, and a lovely cake. It's actually called a lovely cake, and I thought that was really awesome as a means to get a guild invite, and Lycan did invite him to the guilds because I've been asleep.
I take all the credit.
I've been asleep the majority of the day and doing other things the rest of the day, so I was kind of out of commission as far as the guild goes. So wanted to give a shout out to Elida. Welcome. We're happy to have you. Very, very excited that you're finally able to gameplay. We are, in case you guys haven't noticed, we are down Spamberger this week. He's going to do some family stuff and take a night off. He deserves it. We're always sad when we miss him, but he's excited when he misses the show because he likes watching it from a fan perspective instead of being on it. So he'll be really excited about that. But no fear, I did bring the Riders of Rohan with me, as always. I did bring the Frost Mage who built his own ice palace to hold his girlfriend's hostage, Frieza.
Ooh, I wish I could. That sounds really good.
That sounds really creepy.
If you could do that, maybe you wouldn't be single.
Maybe.
Or he'd be in jail, either one.
Well, that's a fine line. I mean...
No, I just found to take their shoes and hide them. They won't leave without their shoes.
You say hostage, I say overloved. I mean, I think it's just one of those things that's entirely dependent on your point of view.
I'm a deep lover.
That's what she said. That's what
you say hostage, I say struggle snuggle.
That's how it's done right there.
Words for what just happened. We're glad you're here. You almost didn't make it.
I didn't. I was watching a movie and it lasted way too long.
I don't go out, so unless it's on Netflix and or pay-per-view, I don't see movies. I haven't been to a theater since the 80s, so we don't leave the house. We have 5 kids, but well, we're glad you're here. I did also bring the Death Knight who death-gripped orcs and Ashran Lycan.
Yep.
That is what the bow tie is for this week. I killed 500 of them green-skinned bastards this week just to get the Orc Slayer title, and you maggot bags are next. I'm coming after the undead.
Gauntlet thrown, like if I was Horde, I would be like, wow.
Yeah, I would have a bounty on your head.
So if you
It'll say Orc Slayer, he's with me.
If you are an Ashran and you see a hunter, because he is doing PvP on his hunter and you are undead, you should be careful because he's gunning for you big time. So that's terrible.
And we were there. That's what's great about our little group is that we weren't there for any of the 490, but we were there for the last 10.
Well, I was there the night before for probably a good portion of the rest of
Oh, you were?
Yeah. So
I was helping him out. I was helping him out there.
Successful ransacks on the other hold. Successive ransacks in a row. It was awesome.
Yeah, we could talk about that in our weeks in a while, but yeah, we killed it this week. I did also bring the kitty who refuses to share his litter box hots for shots.
I got something going on.
I love that one.
What can I say? That's my sanctuary.
It's funny because I can't take credit for any of these because I'm not the one that made them. It was actually Aja because I was having a moment where no creativity was completely blocked. So it was actually Aja that made those. So it's funny that she knows you guys so well that she knows exactly what to say. And apparently Hots does have issues allowing people into his litter box, which I wouldn't clarify either. But the kitty thing, you have a tail. The viewers, for those that watch the show and don't listen or don't do the iTunes,
And he is a druid, so keep that in mind.
A backstory is pre-show he had gotten up to do something, and I'm like, what the hell is going on your backside? And he's like, oh, you've never seen my tail? No, it's never come up in conversation. There was never a moment where you were like, hey, want to see my tail? And I was like, yes, I do. He's a furry. For those of you who don't know, I've recently learned what a furry
Not a
is.
furry. Not a
furry. I've recently learned what a furry is in the world today. I'm the kind of person that if I don't know it, I make fun of it because it's just how I am, and I did make fun of it, and then he taught me what it was, and now I can't. So we do have a lot of 6.1 talk. PTR this last week has been data mined with so many goodies that up until now were kind of theory crafting that we had done a little bit. Two of the things that are now official were stuff that we had mentioned last week. But I wanted to make sure that we did our week in WoW. Friza, what did you do this week in WoW?
I was just trying to get a couple of new partners. I know we went on a scout. I was running around. Why are you shaking your head? Oh,
I'm not saying a word.
Oh, okay. No, because I wanted a healer.
Bitter party of one under the name Lycan.
I was running around, need a druid. No one ever responds to that. But we did have a listener respond back to Balasang, I believe, saying that he watches the show and he wanted to be part of our arena team where he wants to come die with us. And it was awesome. His name is Ace. What is his?
Acelin is his tune. We all call him Ace.
We call him Ace, but I don't know actually. His name tune is what? Acelin?
Acelin, yeah. We added him a few weeks ago, but he expressed his interest in doing the PvP specifically and knows that you needed a healer. So
right. If you're willing to heal my sorry, but you come right on down and sign the paper, and saying I'm not responsible for anything that happens to you mentally, or we could get this show going.
Poor Acelin came on a call with us because we Skype when we do PvP, and that poor guy didn't know what hit him because, we're a rowdy bunch. He was silent for a little while until he just realized that, this is just who they are. And because, we're rowdy and we're highly inappropriate at most of the time. So, but it was really, really fun to have somebody new and some fresh eyes.
It was really fun playing with him. It was definitely, it's pretty cool. Pretty cool.
He only loves healers. If you're not a healer, don't try to be friends with him because he won't be friends with you. He only wants a healer.
And if he gets his mount first, forget you ever getting yours.
Agreed. They did that to me last season where everybody's running around with their threes mount and here's Belle with no threes mount. And I was like, fine, fuck you guys. I don't want a threes mount. I don't even care. So, Lycan, what did you do this week in WoW?
Well, I have to say that my products, of course, the whole rating and everything like that. By the way, I got to give a shout out to Riders of Rohan for the rating. We are not a progressive guild. We're not a hardcore guild. But, the core team that we have building is just phenomenal. They've completely impressed me. But my thing, I have been in Ashran every single day. Friday night, we ran Ashran. I got promoted to leader of the raid for the main event. And we did 15 successive, back-to-back assaults on their hold without wiping it all. It was quite impressive. I think Belle's got her 4,000 bones. I think she almost got 3,000 that night or something like that. Mm-hmm. Plus, the Orc Slayer title was just awesome, and I am proudly wearing that above my head.
That is awesome.
Yes. I can't even focus because the bow tie. It's like calling me. It's hypnotizing a little bit. Like I keep looking at the bow tie when I should be paying attention.
That's why it's there.
The bow tie is in celebration of the Orc Slayer title, by the way. So.
I will get my Deathstalker title next, and then it's on to making a whole bunch of stakes because I'm coming after Torrens after that.
Good. Well, I'm glad that you're doing stuff. We're finally starting to get some accomplishments done in WoW. Hots, what did you do this week? Well, I already know what you did, but...
Yeah. Raided. I got some very disappointing raidy... I got very disappointed with my raid team because I know we're better than that. We didn't get a kill in Mythic this week, and we really should have. I think officers made a call that they shouldn't have without really thinking it through, and then it just got really sloppy, and then whenever they tried to fix it, it was too late, and yeah, it just turned out to be a really poopy week. Then I came and raided with y'all on my monk. That was fun. I hit 630 item level while I was in raid because of the 2 pieces that I acquired back to back, so can't complain.
What was your monk's name?
Miss for Miss.
I'll
Yeah,
tell you.
myths for mists.
I
So-
can't pronounce it, so I don't even.
So I'm an Ashran. This is true, and I didn't tell you this, Hots, but it's really happened to me. My mind, I'm losing my mind, people. So I'm sitting there in Ashran, and I look at this monk, and his name is Mist something. Mist for what is it? Mist for Fitz?
Myths for mists.
Yeah, that it is. And I saw that, and I couldn't remember where I seen that name before. And it was weird because this was one of my arena partners, all through Mr. Pandaria, and I was sitting there looking at this monk, and I was like, where do I know that name
to be fair,
from?
that name wasn't his name in Mr. Pandaria.
What-
It's a whole different monk.
What is that? What's the monk you
Mama
had before?
Bear,
Looked just
right?
like that.
Mama Bear.
Yeah, it was
bear.
Mama's bear.
So I seen this monk before then, somewhere, and I was like, I seen that name though. I know that name from somewhere though. I know that name. And he's all, and he's in the Skype call with us. Keep this in mind. And he's all right. Let's duel. I go, where are you at? He's like, I'm the monk in front of you. And I was like, oh, that's freaking you, man. I didn't know that was you.
Never mind that they're in the same guild, so all you have to do
Yeah.
is look at the guild
And
roster.
on the same Skype call, and I don't know he was right in front of
And
me.
underneath his name, it does say the writer's a Rohan. So,
Yeah.
I mean, logic would deduce that it's possible.
I was just like, I don't know that name. I know this monk from somewhere, but I can't remember where.
So so Raid was a little bit unsuccessful, and I know that we suffered the backlash of your Raid issues on Skype with you, but you're progressing, and that's always a good thing. You guys are mythic, so
Yeah.
really, for a while this week, I have been full on the things that I wanted to do. I wanted to upgrade my trade post to level 3, so rep happened. I got that around the same time that I got the Bone Collector, which we spent 6 hours in Ashran farming the main event for bones. I am going to tell you guys that if you're looking for bones and you just try to tag along with the main event without being in the group, you get 4 times the amount of bones if you're in the main event group. So make sure that you get added to that, and you will just see the bones. I went from 1,500 bones to over 4,000 in a span of a couple hours. And I'm also doing the Tauren Slayer for the Nemesis quest line, and I think I'm up to 110 of 500. The main event is also going to be how you get that. You physically don't have to tap any of these things in the kill. You just have to be in the group. So if you're in the center, in the thick of it, you don't have to try to make sure that you're the one that gets the killing blow on the players. It's going to count towards you. Just make sure that when you go into Ashran, you say invite to main event, and just tag along with it. Make sure, hopefully, you have a good lead that keeps the group refreshed. We just kept doing it. You only get the strong box once. I think it's once every day when you kill the High Warlord at the end.
Right.
But you still get honor for the kill. You get conquest. You still get, the broken bones. So keep farming it. You go to the end, you kill it, then everybody goes back to mid. Everybody regroups, adds new people, and then you recap mid and then start the process all over with. So that's a good rule of thumb as far as being able to do Ashran. But I did a lot of stuff this week for myself, for personal stuff, and we've gotten a lot of good guild changes as far as more progressive with the raid team and making raiders out of our team. We've had a lot of new recruits. A lot of them have came from being Pwnecast listeners, and I wanted to shout those guys out as well. But this week was all about me honing what I have been able to do for myself. So I kind of went off grid as far as doing a lot of guild stuff to actually take care of my needs for once. And it was nice. It worked out. I got a ton of achievements, a ton of Ashran achievements for killing shit, which is my favorite. So good week. So let's get right into it, because I think we took enough time for the week in WoW. PTR. So we had a whole show about this. The information just keeps coming, and it just keeps getting better. I'm loving what I'm seeing. But before we get into PTR, a lot of talk on the internet because Blizzard sent out a physical gift for 10-year veterans. Now, I just need to make sure that I disclose this. They're not awarding them for war veterans, people. They're awarding them for WoW veterans. So for those of you on the interwebs and the Facebook groups asking it's for military service, why does this need an explanation? I can't even believe to even imagine those. And for those of you who really thought it was for war veterans, you and I need to have a meeting, and we need to have a talk about your life, because why would Blizzard to war veterans? There's no precedence. There's nothing going on where they would do. I mean,
she should be ashamed of herself right now.
No, it's
we
not
are
that.
not with her. We are not affiliated.
No. That's not what it is. Everybody knows I'm all about military. I am all about respecting my military. We have military vets in our guild. But if you are a World of Warcraft game and they are saying 10-year WoW veterans, veterans, why would you think it's for military? right? I'm not the only one. Come on.
Yeah.
No, I understand 100%.
Okay.
And
So
I like the idea. And also, it says do not sell, and you could buy
the
them now.
box,
on
that was
eBay.
another point. The box says this is not for resale, and unfortunately, people have taken to selling them on eBay, which we discussed this on the Facebook page, and I wanted to get some different feedback on. And some people said, maybe Blizzard should have asked people if they wanted this gift before they sent it out. I understand what you guys are saying, and another person said, well, maybe they just didn't want a bunch of junk cluttering up their real life. Maybe it's not for them. Totally get it. But here's my question. So when you do something in your life and you get a trophy, you get an award, you hang your award on the wall, you put your trophy above your mantle, you might put it on a bookshelf. This is what this is. This is a Blizzard, and this, to my knowledge, is one of the first MMOs to ever do this on a large scale like that. To physically take the time to send their 10-year World of Warcraft veteran players a thank you for supporting us and what we do for you. I understand people need money. I'm not the richest person in the world either, but you have to sell it. You can't take that as. That's just my opinion. For those of you that are selling it, shame on you, really, because it specifically says not for resale and it is illegal. Obviously, I don't follow all the letters of the law as I get speeding tickets, but why would you want to risk?
They do the same with Super Bowl rings. You always see those.
Yeah, but why would you want to risk a game ban for selling something? I don't understand why you would want to risk that ban.
I don't think they'll ban them in game.
You don't think so?
No,
I would
because that's. And another thing is I'm extremely confused as to why someone would sell it, but I'm not even gonna lie. Whenever I found 2 years ago, I found the Wrath of the Lich King Collector's Edition for $40 at Walmart, and the first thing I did was check eBay to see how much they were selling for, and it was selling for like $200. And
that's different, though.
Well, it is
I
a
would
lot
do that
different,
too.
but
I'm an auction house
at
hustler,
the same
so,
time, at the same time, it's that trophy is awesome, but how much more awesome is $600?
I think that's one of those things where it's a personal thing, but to me, because they took the time out I wish I had that, but I didn't start 10 years ago. But I'm not, it's to each his own, really, at the end of the day. I just feel like some people should have appreciated it a little bit more. And within hours, it was on eBay.
And what I love about this is that there are items already sold for $750. Yeah. I'm staring at new listing right now, as of 10 a.m. this morning, for $175.
It's just like
so they're not even going for the $500-$600 that people have already bought them for off eBay. When if you wait, I bet you another 2 weeks or so, they'll be down to $50.
And I think it's nice for collectors, for you want to go to eBay and you want to buy these things, but I think the statue had meaning in the 10 years of WoW. That's no other MMO does this. They give you in-game items, and somebody had asked on the Facebook page, was an in-game item given? Any MMO can give you a new pet or something to use in-game, something physical that says we appreciate you so much that we are going to do this for you. But I guess it's to each his own.
What Blizzard did, I think even better than that, is they put your NPCs in the game. Right. I think that is the coolest thing in the world.
Agreed.
You got. I don't know the new Halo 4. I don't know all about it necessarily, but T Squared has been the best Halo player for many years, and I don't think they've ever put his NPC in any of the video games. He's been the best player. And
I do like that. I agree with the NPC tribute because that's something that's forever. And I think that was some people were saying, well, why not give us something in game? I think the physical statue was a lovely gesture from Blizzard. And if anybody from Blizzard listens or watches, I think you guys are awesome. And I love that we're that important, that people that played for 10 years get something. So a lot of people bitched because it was 10 years and it wasn't 5 years. You're not the boss.
Well, it's their 10-year anniversary.
But you're not the boss.
Point.
Blizzard's the boss.
Yeah.
Blizzard decides how many years they want to give you an award. You're not running shit, so just keep playing, and in another 10 years, it will be 10 years.
What I find ironic is I missed it by... I've been playing, or I started my account 10 years ago, but I had to deactivate it for a year while I deployed to Afghanistan.
Well, Wowhead,
so I'm not a 10-year WoW veteran because I'm a veteran.
Well, did you go to Wowhead? Wowhead has the actual eligibility because there wasn't anything official as far as what makes you eligible, but if you go to Wowhead, Wowhead has the actual eligibility requirements, which and that'll actually tell you if your account is eligible for receiving that so that you know that it's coming. But just take things in stride, guys. And our opinions are our opinions. They don't mean anybody's right or wrong. It's just the way that we feel about them. So in times when people feel like we offend them, don't be offended. It's just a game. At the end of the day, don't be offended.
Were they going to send you something in the mail, like on your little game mailbox? Did they say something in there?
No.
I believe emails went out.
Emails went out after people were like, whoa, what am I'm getting this random thing from UPS. I had several people on Facebook say I didn't even get a notification of anything. It just showed up on my doorstep. So I think after the fact, when they realized that people were not expecting them, and it's a problem with if they're shipping, what if the addresses on the Blizzard accounts are wrong? So I think that they kind of quickly said, oh, shit, we might not have been confirming things.
Yeah.
You better fix that.
Actually, if you think back on it,
they did. I remember exactly what you're going to say when they had everybody confirm their information.
They asked people to update their information, and they'd never done that before, and that's what scared
people
me.
People so much so thought it was a spam, or people were trying to account hack or fish for that information. Yep, but we're gonna switch topics because we spent half the show just on a few topics already. So I want to make sure we get to all the stuff. I'm going to burn through just a couple things really, really quickly. The Garrison Quartermasters in 6.1, they are going to start selling rush orders. Rush orders are for building work orders. Level 3 profession buildings now unlock special profession missions. These missions will also reward the rush orders. What the rush orders do instantly completes 5 of your active work orders for some of your buildings. Alchemy, this is all 6.1 talk. Alchemy now has transmutes again. Yay! You can transmute for salvage blood, and you can transmute for all of your sorceress items such as air, water, earth, and fire. Yay! Alchemists finally have a thing now again where they actually transmute stuff instead of doing daily cooldowns and flask making. So that's coming in 6.1. We talked last episode about the jukebox for the garrisons. At that point, it was theory crafting because some things had been alluded to a jukebox. Well, it's been officially data mined. Music can be unlocked and added to your garrison jukebox for you to select. As of this moment, it will be quests that you will pick up. We're thinking that it's going to be tied to achievements as well. But they haven't really stated that there's only going to be one way to get them. They're saying that there's going to be several ways that you can acquire the music for your jukebox to be able to make those selections.
And even with this year's the treasure hunting through Draenor, every one of those treasures that you actually went and picked up was tied to a certain quest number.
Right.
So it could be, meta achievements unlocked them or this, that, or the other thing. So, it's still kind of up in the air.
Lots of ways, but that's exciting to see that that's actually a thing. I sit in my garrison a lot, so to be able to have whatever music I want to listen to, Panda Stomp, whatever I want to listen to, it's in there. This is going to be funny for me. The Garrison Mission UI improvements, I'm going to call Blizzard out. So Blizzard has copied some of the add-ons for your Garrison Mission managers, and kind of a dirty move, but if it can be done through Blizzard instead of having to have extra add-ons to the game, then I'm all for it and think that's awesome. And what would that be a tribute to those designers and developers that make these add-ons that Blizzard liked your stuff so much that they chose to implement it. So when mousing over an available mission, the counters have green checkboxes if you have a follower that can successfully complete it. The tooltip will also show how long the missions will be available for, which is something that the add-on currently does for you. In-progress mission displays their level and success chance. The follower tab now has a row of icons for the threat counter, a number showing how many followers you have for it. Clicking the icon will also filter the list of followers to choose that have the counter for that specific threat for that mission. When upgrading a follower, you must click their portrait, and there's a special little arrow that tells you, okay, here's your little mission. That's one of the add-ons that is being used. And followers on a mission show how long they are on the mission for. So if you have those add-ons for your mission and you're not an add-on person, or you have those add-ons for your mission, you don't have to have those add-ons come 6.1. If you are not an add-on person, now you get to have all the good stuff that the add-on people have without actually physically having to have that. So that's pretty awesome. That's for those of you that do the Garrison mission stuff. So
only thing that's not bringing up is skipping the cutscenes. Are the little scenes where they fight it out? That's the only thing that Blizzard's not getting rid of.
Right, and if you have the add-ons, it will cut that out. You don't have to do that.
Yep.
And I don't know that Blizzard will ever do that. Blizzard likes you to look at their stuff. They work really hard for you to look at their animations and cutscenes, and they don't like to make it where you can't look at it.
Hence the no flying.
Continued set bonus improvements. Every other day they're coming out with more set bonus improvements. go to Wowhead. They've got them all data mined. They change pretty prevalently. I think monks, warriors, and paladins were the focus over the last couple days for changing up the set bonuses. So just make sure that you guys are stocking Wowhead, because Wowhead data mines that stuff like that. If you're interested in seeing what your class set bonuses are changing.
They should have a set bonus, very very simple. Just collect 4 pieces and just does more damage.
Colorblind mode gets a huge overhaul. Lots of customizable improvements. There are 3 colorblind options, as well as a slider to increase strength from 0 to 100. Icons and color wheel are provided to help you with adjustments. What they've done is and this is for 6.1, it's more robust. They give you more options to be able to make it easier, because not all colorblind is created equal. Some people have a spectrum of colorblindness where it's really, really light or it's really, really heavy. So the new interface for it under your interface options are going to be more robust for you to have better visuals in game. And I know that HOTS had stated that there is something that you can use the colorblind mode for, even if you're not colorblind mode for. What was that, HOTS?
So this is a trick I learned in another MMO. If you're having problems seeing fire or staying out of fire because you don't really notice it, you can go into colorblind mode and make it where the fire pops compared to where the ground is dull, so it's a lot easier to stand out of.
And I think that's good for people if you have PC issues. A lot of us will game till the PC's very last breath, because a lot of us we're college students, or we're moms and dads and we can't afford computers or new upgrades as consistently. So if you're having PC issues where you typically have graphics problems, that's a good rule. What HOTS is saying is to use the colorblind mode to be able to not die in fire. We have Nikini, who is one of our mages in the guild, and that poor guy, for him, the fire, because of his computer, is like all over the floor. It's like painted on the floor. So it's really difficult for him to try to avoid the fire, because it's just, to him, it's everywhere. So that's a good elitist tip.
We'll have to let them know.
We burned through those really quickly because I wanted to make sure that we got all that stuff in there. Lycan, we have been doing the toon lore every week. This week, for Lycan's Lure You In with Lore, he's got some tips on how to help develop your own toon lore. So I'm going to turn it over to him.
Right, and the reason we've kind of stopped going, we were going to move on to Fry's lore this week. We moved on to this, is I want to take a step back. I've gotten a lot of requests and a lot of comments, emails, asking about, well, how do you rate the lore? I mean, how do you work the lore into your character? And the way we do that is it takes a little bit of research on your part. Some of the things you're going to have to really, really know is your race and your class. You obviously can't say, hey, when I was a human growing up on the streets of Wargrimmar, that's just not going to fit. So you really want to take a look at where your race is, the history of your race, and also the class that you're rolling. And the class race combo is very important as well. The reason the humans are warlocks and the reason the orcs are warlocks are 2 totally different reasons. The orcs brought that with them from Draenor, and the humans weren't always warlocks. It was something they kind of picked up on. So I mean, those are 2 main things there. And then you want to start looking and then start moving out of here. Those are your core traits. Then you want to start looking into your personalities. Your personalities also determine also your gameplay of your character. Especially if you're on an RP server. If you're on an RP server and you're one of those ones out for bloodthirst, but you're walking around holding or wearing a nice frilly dress and holding flowers in your hand, it's really not going to match your game style. So you want to try. I said everything's going back to what and how you're going to play your game, and it's specific to you.
What your driving force is, right, behind what you're doing?
Right. I mean, and it could be, it could be just basically on basing it off your person. I know a lot of my lore is based off of my person, and I bring that through into the game. I mean, my guildies saw me kind of get a little ragey on Sunday night, but that's a lot of my character too is that way. So I bring that into that, and it's good to do it because you don't want to bring such a dichotomy between yourself and your player. I mean, there are people that do that, and that's great. But you've got to remember, if you're going to play on an RP server, if you're going to go ahead and play with this role-playing style, that you're going to have to be able to keep this up at all times.
Yeah.
You know, families, relationships, religion, politics. These are some big things you want to take a look at when forming your backstory. Even down to what you may not think in an MMO, but your sexual preference. You know, there are some people that bring their own personal sexual preference into it.
Robosexual,
and then honestly,
apparently was a thing.
could be robosexual. But I've seen also some people explore parts of their sexuality in game that they can't do in real life. And that's what's fun about doing the whole lore behind everything, is that, you know, you can have this character that's based completely solely after you, which is what, you know, if you look at Lycan and what his character and his backstory is, you know, that is basically where I've come from. But I've seen players, and I know quite a few that, you know, are married, children, you know, are in a very loving relationship with their wife, but have a homosexual, you know, backstory towards their RP players, and that's completely fine. So when you're doing this, but you know, you want to take a look at those aspects of your life and where you want to do with those, but you don't want to go out of character. You don't want to go against your race. You know, you don't want to go against your class. You know, if you're a druid, I'm sorry, not a druid, but if you're a rogue, you're not going to talk about how you like tanking things. You know, it doesn't work. So please, you know, you want to try to keep that focus to what your race class especially is too. There are a lot of great websites out there as well. I found one that's called Ash's Guide to RPG Personalities, and they go through everything, through your family histories, through your professions and your crafts, and you know, I believe this is for a different RPG, but it fits WoW so well. And if you're going to spend the time and the effort of putting a lore together for a character that you've obviously know and love, because if you're playing a class in a race that you don't like, then you're doing it wrong. You're wasting your $15.
Reroll.
Exactly. If you're doing that, if you're going to put that much effort into it, check out the resources that are out there on the web. Go to these websites. Check out WoW Wiki. Go to the community forums. There are people out there, if you have questions on, say, hey, you know what, this is my story, this is what I want to do with my character, but I want to try to go ahead and get it to be race and class appropriate. Put it up on the forums. Yeah, you're going to get your trolls out there, but you will get honest-to-goodness people out there and say, hey, look, yeah, no, that's not going to work for how you're doing things. You know, I understand that you're a night elf, but you're not going to be sunbathing every day. You know, that doesn't work.
Right.
So, you know, definitely look into these things. Definitely spend the time and the effort to do it right the first time, because to go back and try to retcon your own lore.
There's that word again.
You're learning new things.
Like, you in the red shirt guy probably said retcon about 500 times, and I was like, okay.
But that is a very important part of the whole aspect of lore.
Because it'll change, and you need to be able to adhere to see that those changes are happening before you're developing it fully.
Right. When you have the original Joker that was pale skin and green hair, compared to the newer Joker in the Batman movies that had the cut lips and painted his face on, they had to go back and change that story. Now, sometimes it can be worked very easily. But a lot of times, no, you're going to have troubles not only with yourself trying to keep up with it, but also trying to convince those that have known your character and know your own personal history with it, to try to convince them to change it. It's better off to get it done right the first time. You know, those are my biggest suggestions, though. Do your research and have fun with it. You know, if don't make it something you don't want. If you want to explore a part of you that you've never explored before, do it.
It's all about being a hero. You're a hero, especially in Draenor. That's what you are. You're the hero, which it's nice to be that. Find what your driving force is with your toon. Where'd your toon come from that pulled them out of the bowels of hell to fight for justice, or whatever your story is, you want to find your driving force. It was really fun when I did mine with Belle. I enjoyed that immensely. She's already alive to me. I refer to her as her. So obviously, I have some kind of emotional attachment to her, which I think most people do to their mains. That was good. Good.
And what's funny with Lycan, it's the same way. But and you always say, "Oh, I'll bring Lycan." But if somebody says, "Hey, are you going to go PvP?" I'm like, "Sure, I'll bring my hunter." You know, and I've formed that bond with my DK with Lycan himself.
It's the same with Bell. I refer to Bell as Bell, even though all my toons have Bell in them. Let me hop on Bell, and everybody already knows I mean the Warlock. But if I'm on the Druid and I say, well, let me hop on the Shaman. I never refer to any of them as their names except for my Warlock. So that's pretty factual. Right. Friza's Friza. He was.
I'm Fry.
Patch makes fun of him and Masana because he did try something new with his Druid, which means Masana means healer, right?
More hills in Spanish.
So this week for Bell's Bites, before I go into the other stuff, I have for Bell's Bites, I need to do an apology to Jonathan Brinkley. Jonathan Brinkley had I can't even stand these guys. The things they do to me during the show, it's horrible, and it forces me to not be able to concentrate because they're rude. But anyway, Jonathan Brinkley, he had requested to have some information about how to do guild recruitment. And I dropped the ball. I overwrote my show notes, and I did not talk about it last week. So he's going to get a nice little chunk of segment specifically for what his needs are. So guild recruitment. Jonathan Brinkley was recently made recruiting officer for his guild. Congrats, you get a golf clap for that. We're really excited that that's your new title. He did ask for some good recruiting ideas. It is difficult to recruit in these days and times, especially with them taking the guild level out of the equation. For the guilds, every Tom, Dick, and Harry can start a guild, and that's wonderful for everybody, but to find your perfect match in a guild, it can be really difficult as far as a recruiter goes. Being a guild recruiter, here's what's important. Going in with the mindset of not taking what you can get. When I first started and I was recruiting, we took whatever would come our way so that we could start filling the ranks and doing what we needed to do, knowing that at the end of the day, if you pull somebody that's not a match and you're forcing it to fit, it's only going to end parting ways badly. So when you're recruiting, you want to look for quality versus quantity. That should be forefront in your mind as a recruitment officer. You want to know ahead of time, establish what is your guild culture. Every guild should have a culture, whether you're hardcore, whether you're casual, whether you're a combination of both, whether you cater to RP, you cater to PvP. Every guild in general should have a culture. What makes your guild tick in chat? We're weird. The conversation goes from 0 to 50 in 2.5. I mean, we are a broad spectrum of what we talk about, and when we're recruiting, we make sure that we look for those same like-minded individuals. If you're way super serious and you don't appreciate when we say certain things in chat, then odds are it's not going to work out anyway because you're going to hate it. So as a recruitment officer, you want to keep that forefront in your mind and understand what it is you're looking for. I know that you had mentioned that you guys are veteran raiders who have formed a guild, and I'm assuming that raiders are going to be what it is you're looking for specifically. Therein lies the first world problem. Because raiders specifically, it's really, really difficult to get exactly what you're looking for in the term of raiders. Trade chat recruitment, you did mention that you are doing that. I don't find that the return on investment is lovely. If you've got some asshat in trade chat trolling, of course he's going to join your guild when you throw that recruitment out there. Doing general spamming, it'll help to get the name prevalent in trade chat and people will ask more questions. But if you have a potential guild recruit that doesn't ask you questions about your guild before signing on to the guild, walk away. There's no reason for you to bring them on. Especially a raider's going to ask you questions. What are your raid times? What's your raid style? What's required for raids? Raiders are going to have very specific things that they are looking for in a guild. So if you're talking to somebody, that's how you can gauge whether or not they are a serious raider to know if you're even wasting your time. Because they're very specific, and they don't want you to, they want to know what you're up to. Most serious raiders want to know that, one, if you've already established your raid team and you guys are already in progression, most raiders prefer to be already in mid-progression with the team that's already established and developed. However, there are the raiders that say, you know what, if you're serious about making a raid team and you're doing these requirements, I don't have a problem jumping in on that because you're making requirements for that. So trade chat is great for that. Don't ever auto-invite. just recruitment in general. It's poor form. People want to be personal. Once you've figured out what your culture is, here's the way that the Riders recruits. We made a guild banner that talks about what we're looking for Raiders, what we're looking for PvP, for RBGs and our arena teams. The casual parts of the guild, such as running old content, just quest stuff, dungeons, and things like that. We put that on a guild banner, which is where you have your graphics, your description of what it is you're looking for. For you specifically, Jonathan, since you're looking for raiders, you want to state what is required for those raiders. How many nights a week will you be raiding? That you're going to be required to do your homework to make sure you know your role in the fight. If you're looking for specific classes to fill a specific role, send that guild recruitment banner, which is just going to be your one image with what you're looking for. Send it to all the major Facebook pages that do fan shares. Girls Who Play WoW is one that will do fan shares. Raid Naked, everybody that's guild related, even though like Girls Who Play WoW has their own guild, Raid Naked has their own guild, Pwnecast has their own guild. Everybody will share your recruitment banners, typically if you inbox them. So hitting it with social media is not a bad idea, especially going to the WoW forums. There's several sticky threads regarding guild recruitment and raider recruitment specifically. For your raider application, it's going to be something that your guild needs to, your raid team, who you already have component-wise, needs to talk about what the requirements are going to be. It's something that needs to be discussed as a whole, because if you sign people on under one impression and things change after that, you're going to have a problem with people not wanting to stay on that team, and then you're just for naught because you thought you had a full team and then you don't. So you want to make sure that you're utilizing your recruitment properly. We also recruit dungeon runs and random pug groups. Like if some of my team does a pug because they missed a boss for the raid that week because they had to take the whole day off or whatever, and they want to make sure they get that boss going into the next reset, so they pug a group. When you see like-minded people, they have your personality in chat, they raid they raid like you, or they play like something you're looking for, don't have a problem approaching them. However, there is a disclaimer. Me as a guild master, I do not condone taking from another guild ever. I do not condone actively recruiting from other guilds because I think that that's shit and it puts a bad label on your guild in general. Guilds should be a cooperative thing and everybody should respect each other. If somebody tries to recruit my guild, one of my guildies, I have a problem with that. So do not under any circumstances try to recruit, hey, join my guild instead of that guild. The way that you approach it with somebody that's already guilded is you need to be very careful first. You need to find out if they're happy in their guild. And when I say happy, a lot of guilds died in Mists of Pandaria. So you might find that a lot of the guilded are actually just, maybe they're the only one on in their guild and they have problems letting go because they haven't found a new home. Or, maybe whatever the case may be, you want to make sure you tread lightly and don't steal other people's guild members because that makes your guild look bad. So when you're in runs with people, whisper them, hey, are you in an active guild? What's your guild status? Are you looking for a raiding guild? Does your guild raid? Try to just do questions first before you even throw that bomb out there to make sure that it's accurate. We recruit from dungeons all the time. You're right. All the time. When we are in a dungeon run and there's players that are just barreling through and I know that they're going to make good raiders, we do ask, hey, are you interested? Are you looking for a raiding guild? Are you da-da-da-da-da? That's probably 50% of our recruitment is done via pug dungeon groups. That's how we do a lot of our recruitment for raiders and stuff like that. So that was a very long-winded.
That's actually good advice. If you're always looking for recruits, always talk to everybody. When the Honey Badgers was active, one of our best recruits we ever had was at, I think it was like 4 a.m, and I was running in the Thunder Isle, and I was doing a regular daily there, and I'm running with this guy for a while, and I just turned around to him and said, hey, you have a guild? He's like, oh, no, and I was like, do you want to be in our guild? He's like, sure, because we were running for a couple, like an hour at least together. And all of a sudden, he's our main guy in our guild. He brought 6 of his toons. He has all these professions. He had a lot of money, and he was ready to help us in any way you wanted to. And just by asking a simple question like, hey, want to be friends? And
what's my statement?
That's all you got to do.
What's my statement? When I like you, what's my statement? Let's be besties.
Let's be besties.
That's what I say in dungeon, in raid chat and dungeons or instance chat is let's be besties.
So just ask. I'm not everybody, but if you find someone that has a cool personality, straight up ask them because you never know. They may not have
another
any.
thing. I don't know what, like, he's looking for raider. I don't know what level of raiders.
That's why I said he needs to establish what level of raiders he's looking for.
Definitely.
Their guild as a whole for the raid team needs to know exactly what it is they're looking for.
But he needs to go to engine.com, ENJIN, and it's so easy a K-man can do it. You can put together your own little guild website.
Okay, Geico.
Yeah, and I hope they don't copyright me. But either way,
let me just say that Hots is not connected to Pwnecast, the show.
ouch.
We do not condone the use of stealing your trademarked. It's so easy a caveman. I'm just kidding.
And along the same lines Hots was saying too, be very upfront of what your guild is about. You know, if you are a casual raiding guild, do not try to pretend that you're a mythic raiding guild.
And don't recruit raiders as such, because the raiders are going to be pissed off when they sign on for that. Right. You're right. Mm-hmm.
But that website, if you have guild achievements that y'all have earned in the past, any kind of credentials, it's like
a showcase of your, like a dossier of your guild, right? That people could say, I like you, I want to be a part of you. Exactly.
Any kind of credentials, any kind of, like, hey, we got this going for us, or anything I've done in the past, and we're trying, like, we're trying to relive it, blah, 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 blah. Mm-hmm. That's what gets people biting. Like, I found my guild, and I went and looked at their website, and I looked at all their old, like, past stuff, and who's still there, who's not there anymore, and that's what got me.
And be and be upfront and be honest. And I want to make sure that for Jonathan, for you recruiting, and for those that are looking for guilds to try to find the perfect fit, a guild is like a marriage. You have your good days, you have your bad days, you have communication issues, you have to fix those communication issues. For a good guild and for guildies, people get emotionally invested, and it is very much like a marriage. After years of being in the guild, you stop putting out. I mean, these are things that are natural in the ways of marriage. So understanding that you are never going to find a guild where not one person gets into an argument, because that means it's not a good guild. People that do not argue or do not have a banter back and forth, everybody that agrees all the time, that's not real life. So I would be leery of those types of guilds where everything is perfect all the time, because that's not normal. That's not natural. Something is wrong. They're all vampires. I don't really know what would be the reason.
Something under the rug, and then all of a sudden.
But there has to be disagreements for progress in anything, whether it's the guild progress as a whole, being a team. There has to be fights and arguments, because that's the nature of life and change. So when you're recruiting, understand that you might recruit somebody that's new, and they might say, well, this guild's nothing what I thought it was going to be. Those people also need to have an understanding it's not going to be perfect and rosy every single time. We've had guild issues this last week with new members, and that's what happens when you have new people. They have to learn the culture of that guild and to be cohesive in that, and it's nothing that's not normal. Well, I had somebody tell me, something about guild chat, and I'm like, this is normal. Not everybody's going to be active at the same time in guild chat. We have 30, 40 something members on at once, and there are times when you can say something in guild chat and nobody will respond, because you look at the roster and everybody's in high-mo. Obviously, the guild is raiding. That's why you're not getting any responses. But understand that when you're looking for your guild and when you're recruiting, recruit what is for you. Recruit that right fit. Don't try to make the mold fit because you're trying to fill bodies, because at the end of the day, you're going to be bodiless. Be honest about what you're asking for, and the right people will come to you. Use your runs, use the server, go do Apexis dailies and scout out people that you see are having fun, or people, battlegrounds. You can find raiders in Ashran, different places because not all baddies are in battlegrounds. There are good players in battlegrounds that just go maybe to learn a new rotation or whatever the reasons are. So use your resources on your server, as well as the website that Hots mentioned, as well as what Lycan and Frieza had mentioned, that guild recruiting is like looking for a wife. So you need to go into it with that mindset. You're looking for a perfect pair. Once you have that, it's good.
And it's so much like being in a marriage that if you're not careful, a bad breakup, they'll take half your shit and leave.
That's right. That's real talk. So, Jonathan, I hope we answered all your questions. If you have any further help that you need regarding this, feel free to email me at bell@pwnecast.net, and I can, if for rating specifically, we can get you hooked up with Hots, because his guild is Decipher. Although he's a writer, he's also in a way hardcore progression rating guild. So if you want to email me, I know that you've commented on the show, but if you want to email me, then I could give you even in depth. I can show you some banner examples and some different things that you can do. I do apologize. I didn't blow you off last week. I promise. I'm just blonde. So that was better than I had imagined. I didn't think that all that was going to come of I knew I had good stuff, but I wasn't sure. I want to make a few things of mention, and then my Bell's Bites is done. Garrison campaigns come around once a week. So if you're looking for more than one a week, stop. It doesn't happen. Remember that the Bell's Bites come from what's being stated on Facebook and in chat and what people's concerns are regarding the game. So if you're trying to find one multiple times, you're not going to find it throughout the week. You can help others with your garrison missions. That's totally fine. And you should never get the same one twice on a character, because it is a progress with those missions. Man, these guys, you guys don't see what happens in the background regarding them distracting me while I'm talking because they think it's funny. But they're mean boys. They're not nice.
They are not mean.
No, I'm not mean at all. Very
I've been
supportive.
sitting here.
Very supportive.
You will never get the same. You'll never get the same garrison invasion from that specific set of people twice on a character, because it is a progression through those through those invasions. So you won't get the same one twice, and it is part of the overall story. So you won't stop asking if you can trigger the Shadow Moon Valley one 4 times, because it's a progression thing for your toon. This was really funny. Alabama wife beating team is not acceptable as a guild name and will be banned for a minimum of 3 hours at the very least. This to me, listen, people, when you are naming your guild, if some things, okay, listen, some things are funny. And when I say that, I have a wicked sense of humor. Some things are funny to me. That is not one of the things that is funny to me.
That's messed up, but they were able to create it. Which
that's what cracks me up, is that this went through.
This went where it worked.
Really,
This is what gets me. That's where I'm from.
When you want to troll people and you want to insult other walks of life and people's backstories, you seriously should probably take a look in the mirror, and you might want to just unsub. Come on, guys. You can be funny, but really that's highly inappropriate on every level. So,
well, we didn't get to see all the names why they stopped doing the arena team names. There was probably some crazy names out there.
I've been a part of some of those.
For shame. That is just...
Yep.
Well, even some of the character names. We were in Ashrain yesterday, and there was a druid named Miso Horty.
That's funny.
On an RP server.
That was actually pretty funny, actually.
On an RP server, that's jacked up.
Right.
But
It is a good name, but
and
actually, I talked with one of my friends that's been lifelong ever since she started WoW on an RP server, and it's a good one. It's not Moon or Moonshire or anything like that, but either Moonguard, that one. But anyways, she said that she'll report someone for not having an RP name.
Get out of here.
yeah, they're pretty serious about that.
And it's pretty like that on RP servers.
So my name's okay, right?
Yeah, but how do they know how do they know a name's an RP name? Like, how do they know it's not part of their RP? Maybe they made it a thing.
Well, it's not.
Hot for Shot is not an RP name.
Let somebody flag me for a name
RP
change and
name.
watch me shut shit down. Me and Blizzard would be on the phone super quick.
No, I think it's something obvious.
It's names like that Alabama wife beater thing.
Oh, gotcha. And that's a guild name. That's a guild. That wasn't even a toon name.
I'm just saying, like the Miso Horny then, or Miso Horty.
Awkward.
He's not trying to say something, ladies.
That's what we call a Freudian slip, ladies and gentlemen. Somebody give Pop some lovin' because it's spilling over into his wild life.
I've been up for way too long.
That's so funny. I don't
either way, she said that if it's not if it's playful, then it's depending. But whenever it's offensive, it's like that, and usually they get reported and get kicked off and make them change their name pretty quick.
Mm-hmm.
So when you're naming things, try not to be a complete asshole in your life. I know that some of you suffer with issues where your mother didn't love you enough, whatever your problems are, but seriously trolling people to that point, and that's just, there's some subjects that I think are taboo, and I think that domestic violence is one of those subjects that are funny in certain groups of people, but it's not funny for the people as a whole, for those that have suffered those issues on both the giving end and those who have recovered from that. Really, some things shouldn't be joked about, because we have people from all walks of life. Some things are funny when it's your friends, that you know that that's been established as something that's okay to joke about. But for people as a whole, I don't know if it's people try really hard to not be liked. If you want to get disliked, come be friends with me. I'll dislike you all you need. We don't have a problem with that. But people need to be more cognizant of other people and realize that what might be funny to you isn't necessarily funny to anybody else. So I have a wicked sense of humor. So for me to be offended by certain things, it's got to be pretty bad for me to be offended by things. So that's for the last thing for Bell's Bites is Huge Bloke did test the he said as if it wasn't already a thing, and most of us didn't already know, and it's because some people still have not gotten that the Apexis dailies can trigger, is what ultimately is tied into triggering your invasions. If you're not doing your dailies, you're not getting any invasions. I haven't done my dailies in 2 weeks and have not once gotten it triggered a garrison invasion, because it is directly related to your Apexis dailies, because you can pick. One is, the Shadow Moon Council. One is the Iron, whatever you have to do in the pit. Those will trigger those specific invasions for you for that week. So if you're not doing your Apexis dailies and you're not getting your invasions, well, there's your culprit. So make sure, I hate doing them, so I'm really bad about that. But if you're wanting the invasions, make sure that you do that. So
you can do it outside of the quest too. You can go to the pit or wherever and farm those people until you get it.
And
it takes forever.
It's a reverse rough grind. That's legitimately what it is.
In 6.1, they are bringing more Apexis daily missions. You are going to be able to get a lot more of those returns for Apexis dailies in your missions for garrisons. That's something that was data mined, so that's exciting. I do want to make sure that last week, apparently when I was talking about the class pages, I forgot to mention Druids of WoW, and since HOTS is the admin for not only Pwnecast but Druids of WoW, I totally left them out. I do not want to let them go unnoticed, because Druids of WoW is awesome, as are all the other class pages that are out there for you to get specific class help and just be around your people. I excitedly became admin of World of Warlocks, and nothing is better than being around people that are of your class, and being absorbed in other people that like the same class that you do. So make sure that you seek those pages out. We had a really, really great show. It's about that time to go ahead and start wrapping it up. As far as the lore, continue emailing Lycan, Lycan@pwnecast.net, and he can get you in that. And if you want super elitist raid advice, you can contact Hots for Shots at on Pwnecast and on Druids of WoW. He also has his own Twitch, which is twitch.tv/hotsforshots, right? You can go watch his stream. He does a lot of fun stuff, and everybody's obsessed with his UI, which is kind of funny. And Frieza is actively recruiting to fill up the rest of the RBGs. I believe we have 6. I believe we're looking for 4, but we always want to have over to make up for when people cannot make it. So you can't email him because he won't respond. He doesn't even know how to use his email.
Yeah.
So contact me, which is what people have been doing. Our listeners and watchers have been contacting me and asking for him. I was going to give you his battle tag, but here's what's happened. People add his battle tag and don't tell them don't tell him, and he doesn't know.
They do that all the time.
So either go to facebook.com/Pwnecast, inbox, say, hey, I want to get with Frieza as far as doing RPGs with the guild, and we'll get you brought in and you could get started. So
RPGs.
What did I say? RPGs?
RPGs. Yeah, we're not doing rock repel grenades.
Man, I don't have words. I don't really know what to say. But thank you guys for joining us. We're sorry that you weren't here. We did miss you dearly, but I did get to say everything that needed to be said this episode. And I'm really happy about that. But Spam, we missed you, and we hope you had a good evening with the family. Thank you guys for watching us and joining us. You spend an hour with us every week, and we're really, really grateful that you can do so. You can download this on iTunes. Most of you already do. Watch us on YouTube. Whatever avenue you're choosing to listen or watch, please give us a like. If you're downloading on iTunes or you're watching via Stitcher, give us a Give us a review. Tell us how you're liking things. If you're watching via YouTube, give the video a like. Give some comments. Give some feedback. Go to our website, pwnecast.net, for past shows and for WoW news. We do the current WoW news.
We do.
we do.
First episode.
The doo-doo was the very first episode that I did not have a pleasure of being on. The next few months are going to be pretty weird. We're bringing out some of the heavy hitters as far as guests are concerned. So get excited. I'm trying. I'm definitely not BFFs with Chris Metzen, although there are some that are. It's not me.
Chris, buddy, if you're watching, email me together.
Maybe we could have coffee or something. I'm going to try to attack at BlizzCon. Not attack, but get past the bodyguards. I'd have to show some skin to distract the bodyguards, but we're just going to make that happen. We're going to make that a thing.
I might have to show some skin to get past some bodyguards.
Well, I mean, that bow tie.
I was gonna vote for Frieza, but
I'll wear just a bow tie.
Yeah, I'll pull out the vest.
Frieza has
BlizzCon is now ruined for me.
Frieza has a thing where even if you are not interested in other men, he will make you interested in other men. He's very seductive when it comes to other men. My husband gets seduced on a weekly basis. They all of my guys have a bromance together, and
the mage stuff.
You know, normally it's the female that flirts with all the guys in the group, but it's not me. It's Frieza that flirts with all the guys in the group. So it's awkward, but it works because he uses his manly wiles to get what he needs for his.
Hey, if you have heels, I'm going to charm you up.
That's how we do. Thank you guys for joining us. Hots, thank you for being on the show and filling in for the Spaminator. We always love having your ears on the show. Yep. And that's pretty much it. That's the show for this week. You guys know how to get a hold of us, and we hope we entertained you, and we will see you guys next week. Bye. I can't deal with that. That hurt me.
That was awesome.
That was. Look at how he's.
I'm pretty sure your camera was out of focus the whole time. I'm not sure.
I'm gonna test it when I see